The firearms industry spent 40 years perfecting the same thing: lighter, faster, more ammunition, more tactical, more advanced. Every year, new models pushed further in the same direction, and then something shocking happened. America's fastest-growing gun-buying demographic completely ignored all of it. Seniors over 65 rejected modern pistols, tactical rifles, high-capacity weapons, everything manufacturers spent decades perfecting. Instead, they chose a design so old it predates computers, and they're buying them faster than manufacturers can produce them. Here's why. Across America, seniors are arming themselves at unprecedented rates. But they're not choosing just any firearms. They're gravitating towards specific types of guns that address the unique challenges of aging bodies and changing lifestyles. The Federal Bureau of Investigation's latest crime statistics show that Americans over 65 are increasingly targeted for violent crimes. Home invasions against elderly victims have risen 37% in the past 5 years. Purse snatchings and parking lot attacks against seniors have doubled in major metropolitan areas. But something interesting is happening in gun stores across the country. The fastest-growing demographic for new firearm purchases isn't young men or middle-aged professionals. It's Americans over the age of 65. And they're not buying what you might expect. Walk into any gun shop and you'll see the same trend. Seniors are passing over the high-capacity pistols and tactical rifles that dominate the displays. Instead, they're reaching for a very specific category of firearms that most younger buyers ignore completely. These aren't the guns of action movies or police procedurals. They're not designed for combat or competition. They're purpose-built tools that acknowledge a simple reality about aging. When you're 70 years old, your hands don't grip as firmly as they used to. Your vision isn't as sharp. Your reaction time has slowed, but your need for protection hasn't diminished. The numbers tell the story. Smith & Wesson reports that sales of their lightweight revolvers to customers over 65 have increased by 215% since 2018. Ruger's easy-loading pistol models show similar trends. Taurus has actually redesigned several of their firearms specifically to meet the demands of this growing market. But what exactly are these guns, and why are seniors choosing them over everything else? The answer starts with understanding what happens to the human body after 65. Arthritis affects nearly half of all Americans over 65. Hand strength decreases by roughly 20% between ages 60 and 80. Fine motor control diminishes significantly. These aren't just statistics. They're realities that affect every aspect of how a person can effectively use a firearm for protection. Research from medical professionals who study aging populations shows that traditional firearms present serious challenges for older users. The small safety mechanisms on many pistols become difficult to manipulate with arthritic fingers. Heavy triggers can be nearly impossible to pull smoothly. Complex loading procedures can turn a defensive situation into a fumbling disaster. This is where the new generation of senior-friendly firearms comes into play. These guns are engineered from the ground up to work with aging bodies, not against them. The first category dominating senior gun purchases is the lightweight revolver. Unlike semi-automatic pistols, revolvers have no small safety switches to manipulate, no slide to rack, no magazine to insert correctly. Point and pull the trigger. That's it. The mechanical simplicity that made revolvers the standard for over a century suddenly matters again in an aging population. But not just any revolver. The specific models seniors are choosing have several key characteristics. They're built with larger trigger guards to accommodate fingers that may not bend as easily. The grips are designed with deeper finger grooves and softer materials that provide better purchase even when hand strength is compromised. Most importantly, they're chambered in calibers that provide effective stopping power without the harsh recoil that can be painful or disorienting for older shooters. The Smith & Wesson Model 642 is flying off gun shop shelves in retirement communities across the country. This aluminum-framed revolver weighs just 15 ounces when loaded. The 2-inch barrel makes it easy to maneuver in tight spaces like hallways or bedrooms. The .38 special ammunition provides reliable stopping power without the punishing recoil of larger calibers. Gun shop owners report a consistent pattern emerging in their customer base. Seniors are walking in asking specifically for guns they can actually use effectively. They've done their research. They know what they need. The days of elderly customers being talked into inappropriate firearms are ending. The second major category is the striker-fired pistol designed for ease of use. These guns eliminate many of the manual dexterity requirements of traditional pistols while maintaining the higher capacity that some seniors prefer. The Ruger Security 9 has become particularly popular because of its smooth trigger pull and simple loading mechanism. Training instructors across the country have watched the evolution of senior gun ownership firsthand. 5 years ago, most senior students struggled with whatever gun they happened to own. Today, they're arriving with firearms specifically chosen for their capabilities and limitations. The training requirements for seniors are different too. Traditional firearms courses focus on accuracy and speed. Senior-focused programs emphasize simplicity and reliability. Students learn to operate their chosen firearm smoothly rather than quickly. They practice loading and unloading until it becomes automatic. They work on shooting from positions they're likely to actually be in during a defensive encounter, not the perfect stance taught in most classes. This shift toward practical defensive shooting has influenced gun design itself. Manufacturers are paying attention to feedback from senior users and their instructors. Sight systems are getting larger and easier to see in low-light conditions. Trigger pulls are being smoothed and lightened. Grip textures are being optimized for hands that may have reduced sensation. The third category gaining popularity is the compact 20-gauge shotgun. While pistols and revolvers get most of the attention, many seniors are discovering that a short-barreled shotgun offers unique advantages for home defense. The intimidation factor is significant. The spread pattern reduces the precision required for effective hits. The stopping power is undeniable. Modern 20-gauge shotguns designed for defense are nothing like the hunting shotguns of previous generations. They're shorter, lighter, and designed specifically for close-range defensive use. The recoil is manageable even for smaller, framed users. The Mossberg 500 Bantam has found particular favor among senior users because of its adjustable length of pull and reduced weight. But choosing the right firearm is only the beginning. The legal landscape for senior gun ownership has its own complexities. Many states have specific provisions for elderly gun owners. Some allow expedited concealed carry permits for seniors. Others have enhanced penalties for crimes committed against elderly victims, which can affect how defensive gun use is viewed by prosecutors. Firearms law experts note that legal considerations for elderly defenders are often different from those facing younger gun owners. Prosecutors and juries may view an elderly person's use of force more sympathetically, recognizing that they have fewer options for physical resistance. However, the responsibility that comes with gun ownership doesn't diminish with age. If anything, it becomes more important. Secure storage is crucial when grandchildren visit. Regular practice is essential to maintain proficiency. Understanding local laws about defensive gun use can mean the difference between legal protection and criminal charges. The storage question has driven innovation in gun-safe technology. Traditional gun safes with complex combination locks or small keypads can be challenging for seniors with arthritis or vision problems. Newer biometric safes that open with fingerprint recognition solve this problem. Some models are designed to sit on nightstands and can be opened in complete darkness by users with limited dexterity. Medical considerations also play a role in senior gun ownership. Certain medications can affect coordination or judgment. Some medical conditions may make gun ownership inadvisable. Responsible senior gun owners work with their physicians to ensure that their firearms ownership remains appropriate as their health changes. The training industry has responded to the growing senior market with specialized programs. These courses acknowledge that older adults don't need to learn the same skills as younger tactical operators. The focus is on practical home defense scenarios, simple manual of arms, and building confidence rather than speed. Range time for seniors often looks different too. Instead of rapid fire drills, the emphasis is on smooth, controlled shots. Targets are placed at realistic defensive distances, typically 3 to 7 yards. Students practice shooting from positions they might actually find themselves in, such as from a chair or from behind partial cover. The psychological aspect of senior gun ownership is significant. Many older Americans grew up in an era when firearms were common tools rather than controversial political symbols. For them, owning a gun for protection feels natural and responsible. They're not making a political statement. They're taking practical steps to protect themselves in an increasingly uncertain world. Crime statistics support their concerns. While violent crime has generally decreased over the past decades, crimes against the elderly have bucked this trend. Home invasion robberies targeting seniors have increased partly because criminals perceive them as easier targets. The reality of senior gun ownership is changing this calculus. Law enforcement professionals working elder crime units have noticed a shift in how criminals approach crimes against seniors in areas with high rates of legal gun ownership. Word spreads quickly in criminal circles when elderly victims are likely to be armed and trained. The deterrent effect extends beyond individual gun owners to entire communities. The social aspect of senior gun ownership has created its own culture. Gun clubs at senior centers have become increasingly popular. These groups combine social interaction with practical training. Members share experiences, discuss equipment, and practice together. For many seniors, these clubs provide both improved security skills and valuable social connections. The equipment preferences within these communities are remarkably consistent. Simple, reliable firearms dominate. Revolvers and striker-fired pistols designed for ease of use are the most popular choices. Accessories focus on practical improvements like better grips, enhanced sights, and reliable storage solutions. Ammunition selection for seniors follows similar practical principles. Lower recoiling loads are preferred even when they sacrifice some stopping power. The logic is straightforward. A hit with a lighter recoiling round is infinitely more effective than a miss with a more powerful cartridge. Manufacturers have responded with specialized self-defense ammunition designed specifically for firearms, popular with senior users. The training ammunition used in senior-focused courses is often different too. Reduced recoil practice rounds allow more comfortable training sessions. This means seniors can practice more frequently and build the muscle memory that's essential for effective defensive gun use. Regular practice becomes enjoyable rather than punishing. Night vision considerations have driven another area of innovation. Many defensive encounters occur in low-light conditions, and aging eyes struggle more with darkness than younger eyes do. Firearms manufacturers are responding with larger, more visible sight systems. Some pistols now come with tritium night sights as standard equipment rather than expensive add-ons. The economic impact of senior gun ownership is substantial. Americans over 65 represent the fastest-growing segment of new gun buyers. They typically purchase higher-quality firearms and are willing to invest in proper training and accessories. Gun manufacturers are redesigning product lines specifically for this market. Industry analysis shows that senior gun buyers are more likely to purchase from local gun shops rather than big box stores. They want personal service and expert advice. They're willing to pay for quality and are less price-sensitive than younger buyers. This purchasing pattern has helped sustain local gun shops at a time when online sales and big-box retailers have pressured many small firearms dealers. Shops that specialize in serving senior customers often develop loyal customer bases that extend beyond just gun sales to include training, maintenance, and ongoing support. The maintenance aspect of senior gun ownership has its own considerations. Arthritis and reduced hand strength can make field stripping and cleaning certain firearms difficult or impossible. This has influenced design choices toward guns that are easier to maintain or that require less frequent detailed cleaning. Some seniors opt for maintenance contracts with local gunsmiths rather than handling all maintenance themselves. This ensures their defensive firearms remain reliable while acknowledging physical limitations. The cost of professional maintenance is often less than the price of a single training course, making it an economical choice. The concealed carry question varies significantly among senior gun owners. Some pursue carry permits and regularly carry their firearms. Others focus exclusively on home defense. The decision often depends on lifestyle, physical capability, and comfort level with carrying a firearm in public. For seniors who do choose to carry concealed, the same principles that guide their firearm selection apply to holster and carry method selection. Comfort becomes paramount when you're dealing with arthritic joints or back problems. Traditional belt holsters may not work for seniors with mobility issues. Alternative carry methods like pocket holsters or specially designed clothing with built-in holster systems have found strong markets among senior carriers. The family dynamics of senior gun ownership can be complex. Adult children may have strong opinions about their parents' decision to arm themselves. Some families embrace it as a practical safety measure. Others worry about accidents or misuse. Open communication and proper training help address these concerns, but the conversations aren't always easy. Grandparents who own guns face additional responsibilities around visiting grandchildren. Safe storage becomes even more critical. Many senior gun owners invest in multiple storage solutions to ensure their firearms are secured when young family members visit while remaining accessible for defensive use when they're alone. The psychological preparation aspect of senior defensive shooting is important. Using a firearm in self-defense is a serious matter regardless of age. Instructors who understand the unique psychological factors seniors face help them make informed decisions about defensive gun use. The technology integration in modern senior-friendly firearms continues to evolve. Smart gun technology that prevents unauthorized use shows promise for addressing family concerns about accidents. Improved manufacturing techniques are creating firearms that are more reliable while remaining simple to operate. Looking forward, the demographic trends suggest that senior gun ownership will continue growing. The baby boom generation is entering retirement with different attitudes toward personal protection than previous generations. They're more willing to take active steps to ensure their own security rather than relying entirely on others for protection. The firearms industry is responding with continued innovation in senior-friendly designs. Lighter materials, better ergonomics, and simplified operation continue to improve. Training programs specifically designed for older users are becoming more common and sophisticated. The legal environment around senior gun ownership varies by state, but generally recognizes the special vulnerabilities of elderly citizens. Enhanced penalties for crimes against seniors and favorable defensive gun use laws in many states reflect this recognition. Legal experts expect this trend to continue as the senior population grows. For seniors considering gun ownership for the first time, the key factors remain consistent. Choose a firearm that matches your physical capabilities rather than what looks impressive or what someone else recommends. Get proper training from instructors who understand the unique needs of older students. Understand the legal requirements and responsibilities in your area. Practice regularly to maintain proficiency. The revolution in senior gun ownership represents a practical response to real security concerns. As traditional support systems change and crime patterns evolve, many seniors are choosing to take responsibility for their own protection. The firearms they're choosing reflect a mature understanding of their capabilities and limitations. The guns that seniors are choosing over everything else aren't the most powerful or the most advanced. They're the most appropriate. Simple, reliable, and designed for real-world defensive use by people who understand that the best gun is the one you can use effectively when it matters most. The market expansion around senior gun ownership extends far beyond just firearm sales. Training facilities have begun adding specialized classes specifically designed for older shooters. Instructors are developing curricula that prioritize accessibility over speed, building confidence through incremental progression rather than aggressive drills. Storage manufacturers have responded with products engineered for limited dexterity. Ergonomics specialists are consulting on grip designs and sight placement. This comprehensive ecosystem of products and services emerging around senior defensive gun use demonstrates that the market has recognized this demographic as a legitimate and growing segment worth serving properly. The social benefits of senior gun ownership deserve mention as well. Many seniors report that participation in shooting clubs and training courses provides community connection and social engagement beyond just the security aspect. Regular practice sessions create structured reasons to leave home, interact with peers who share similar concerns, and remain mentally engaged with practical problem solving.